John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Y'all really let that fly? I can't believe the Asian delegation ever has forgiven that. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week. We explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Today,
Black people became the foundation the modern world built hierarchy on.
Oh, no. We gonna get there. Shout out to Ashley the Baroness. Oh, we're gonna get there. But first, I have to start here because my comments have been flooded with people asking me, when you gonna talk about Chud the Builder? Where's the Chud the Builder video? I know you gonna roast Chud the Builder. First of all, I did. I talked about the dress, and I talked about him going full Karen.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Chud the Builder will be fine. He will not go to prison for the rest of his life. He'll be out easily and he'll have no issues beating these charges, is what I would say if I was delusional.
They taking you to jail.
Chud the Builder, a man I had no idea existed 72 hours ago, is now sitting in prison with a $1.25 million bond for attempted murder. And I haven't really seen anyone celebrating this. Like, everyone's been really calm about it. Really sad that such an upstanding citizen is no longer a part of civilized society. By way of background, Chud the Builder is what people call a nuisance streamer, and it's literally what it sounds like. They go out, they harass people, they annoy people, they say literally anything to get that person to react. And by harass people, I mean black people. And by say literally anything, I mean the N-word. If you don't know what happened, long story short, he approaches a black man in Clarksville, Tennessee, and he allegedly starts walking away, but says something like, "Are you gonna chimp out?" The man, according to reports, starts hitting him. By the way, we don't even know if that's what happened, okay? Have we heard from the victim since he got out of surgery? What exactly went down? Isn't Chud a streamer? Release the stream. That should answer any questions. But what we do know happened is Chud shot the man, and he also shot himself in the arm. Yes, he cheddar bobbed himself.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
But the main reason why I'm just meh on the whole entire Chud the Builder story, I got no time for fake ones. Just sip some Cristal with these real... Huh? Oh, that was Diddy? They threw my whole childhood away.
A few moments later.
Faker's gonna fake. I'm just gonna shake. I got no time for studio gangsters. I still haven't recovered from finding out the whole cast of The Wire had English accents.
What?
I'm sorry, did you say studio gangsters? Don't you mean studio racists? Yeah, studio racists. We got studio racists out here in 2026, combining two of the worst things that afflict our world today, racism and self-snitching. When they start doing that? No, because y'all always drag the rappers for putting the crimes in the lyrics. He's literally videotaping himself, and I'm supposed to take him serious?
He's right, you know.
Y'all remember when The Real World came out? Or if you're especially ratchet, Cops, and how it scratched that voyeuristic itch that we never knew that we had? Then you fast forward a decade and change, and it became a launching pad to people's singing and acting careers. And my interest went all the way down to zero.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Now, here's the thing. It's not as if I'm not interested in any aspects of the Chud the Builder story. Oh, no, I am. It's just not about his racism. It's about y'all's racism, because he wouldn't have an audience for his videos and content if it wasn't for y'all's racism. See, we can't simultaneously celebrate the personality that is Chud the Builder, as so much of America has, and then deny, racism. That is literally the entire hook. He called y'all out and took it right to the bank. Good luck beating them allegations. Speaking of allegations, streamer Chud the Builder visibly reacted after the judge set his bond at $1.25 million in court. Judge Reed Poland III said the high bond reflected how many people were in the courtyard and the seriousness of the felonies, with Etherly now facing a possible 15 to 16 year sentence. Fascinating. It took this long for MAGA to learn that they set your bond much higher when you commit crimes while on bond. The fact that the majority of comments are people saying if he was a black guy, he would have gotten off and justice isn't fair for white people has got to be the craziest, most effed up hillbilly brainwash logic I've ever encountered. Yes. Now we're in my wheelhouse. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time and energy and words disproving that premise. I'm just going to offer a simple trade. If you guys would like to trade your fates for ours when it comes to the criminal justice system. I didn't think so. So nice narrative that you got over there. Nice narrative.
Oh, that's real nice.
When it comes to these kinds of cases, especially when there's an overt racist involved, he just brings all y'all to the yard, don't he? I mean, really, y'all can't resist. You like moths to a flame, or Rick James to Tina Marie, or Rick James to...
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It don't matter who it is. It could be a police officer in the form of Darren Wilson and all the fundraisers he had, or it could be an overzealous community member in the form of George Zimmerman. And by the way, how'd that work out? No, I mean, literally, go ahead. He out in front of the 7-Eleven. Ask him how that worked out. Or it could be a kid bringing a weapon across state lines to a protest. Huh? In Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh, I know the victims weren't black, but they were at a Black Lives Matter protest. I guess that's good enough. Conservatives will look at you crazy for saying our taxes should go to giving children free lunch at school and then turn around and donate hundreds of their personal dollars to Chud the Builder. Ain't no racism like the kind you pay for, huh? Y'all ain't learned y'all lesson yet from Shiloh Hendricks? Y'all ain't heard nothing. Y'all ain't get no platform. Y'all ain't got no podcast. Y'all didn't get nothing. All you got was her saying, oh yeah, I got your money. Y'all ain't learned yet. And give, sing, go. There ain't a derelict in America they won't host a fundraiser for. Now, is it? That's something I probably should look into. And don't worry, I will. But you know your ground is shaky when even Nick Fuentes won't stand on it.
I don't know. If I were standing around and a black person was live streaming near me and they started saying things offensive to white people, yeah, maybe I would feel a certain type of way about that. Maybe, isn't that sort of our whole thing? And there's something ironic about that. You have a lot of people who are pro-white, and it's all about racial pride, and it's all about beating their chest. And it's all about saying, oh, I'm white. Don't try that stuff around me. Don't insult white people around me. So much racial pride. But then there's this double standard where it seems that white people want to go out in some cases and offend the sensibilities of other people. They feel emboldened, for example, to use harmful stereotypes about other people, say racial slurs about other people, be provocative towards other people, and that's fine. That's free speech. That's funny. Hey, man, can't you take a joke? Hey, man, it's just a word. And when black people get pissed off or take umbrage or they attack, oh, well, you're chimping out. But then when the roles are reversed, if somebody says something anti-white, if someone says something exclusionary to white people, it's those same white people that puff up their chest and say, how dare you? You would never say that about a minority, this, that, and the other. How much abuse have you? Let's just be perfectly honest. Let's be fair. A lot of people aren't going to like this monologue. I don't care. This is what's fair. This is what's true. I see on the timeline how many out and loud and proud white people are saying Indians are and blacks are and Mexicans are and all this kind of stuff. And making jokes about you shit in the street and you like watermelon and all this kind of stuff. And they're the same people. They don't want to hear anything negative about whites. And how do I know that? Because I say negative things about all groups of people.
And you know, something felt quite ironic about the Chud the Builder story blowing up at the same time as they are literally stripping the vote away from black folks all across America. It just didn't feel right to devote so much time to a studio racist when, you know.
Wait for it. Keep waiting.
When you got hardcore racists, some of whom can actually make and pass laws going about that business. And here you see Representative Todd Warner entering the state capitol draped in a Trump flag. And besides, when it comes to this kind of behavior, you know, the real racists gotta be the most upset because they just getting completely overshadowed by this poser over here. An 80-year-old black veteran was targeted, lured outside his home, and punched in the face in Florida. The suspect, Kyle Parrish, yelled, "We don't want people your kind living here," before striking him in the face.
This man is accused of punching an 80-year-old veteran in the face and then saying your kind is not welcome here. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte is live tonight in Sumter County. So, Stephanie, you actually spoke to the victim. What did he say?
I did, and he and his wife are shaken up. They want the person accused of attacking him to be held responsible and to show that hate will not be tolerated.
There are words that can't explain why a person would come to your house, target you, ring your doorbell, lure you outside, and attack you.
Dr. Otis Lane says Kyle Parrish knocked on the front door of his home in the Villages. You can see Parrish caught on the veteran's Ring camera, knocking on the door with a clenched fist. Dr. Lane says he believed Parrish was a maintenance worker, so he walked out of his garage instead of the front door, and says he was immediately met with hate.
He said, "We don't want people your kind living here." And at that point, he was walking directly towards me.
According to the affidavit, Parrish punched Dr. Lane right in the face.
He stepped in front of me. He hit me so quickly, I didn't have an option to defend myself or to respond.
You said that he came up to you and said, "We don't want your kind here." What was going through your mind when you heard that?
Listen, I was born in the South under Jim Crow laws, and I've had to deal with racism all my life. I didn't get to be Dr. Otis C. Lane by accident. It was through sweat and tears, and in some cases, I was made to feel degraded as a second-class citizen. And I reached this level in my life. The last thing I would think would be a young white man that would come into my development and target me and assault me.
Investigators arrested Parrish days later for battery on a person 65 years old or older. Turns out Otis says Parrish's father does maintenance on their home, and Parrish had been there before. According to the affidavit, law enforcement believed there was a prejudicial motive, and this could be classified as a hate crime. It's up to the state attorney's office to make that decision.
Now, there's quite a lot to unpack here, and let's start with a point that I'm going to circle back around to because they love to characterize us as violent, but that didn't put it past a man who was confused for a maintenance worker assaulting an 80-year-old doctor. See, it's not about what you do or who you are. It's about the narratives that we can push, which are standing on nothing, because it's not about what you do or who you are. Yeah, but I keep getting told that racism isn't an issue here. Must be fake news. Hey, somebody call Tim Scott, because he said the racism was some racism then got out. We'll go call the authorities or something, because we had some racism got out. This is supposed to be eradicated. By the way, who wrote that tweet? Is it London River? Like the London River? Okay. Nothing. I don't know her. I just glad to see she's an ally. That's all. So they don't care about veterans. Who would have thought? Ooh, I would love to hear the outrage from the veteran community. I'm not holding my breath though, because we haven't heard their backlash to assaults on them directly yet from this administration. So the villages where this happened are a Trump MAGA stronghold in Florida where racism is known to thrive. Apparently, Dr. Otis Lane is a minister in the villages. A minister in the villages? He black MAGA? Is that? Okay, well, the jury's still out on that. One thing I do know, this certainly does seem like the kind of Christian nationalism that they would push. This certainly looks like it. You know what's interesting? So this gentleman, a doctor, a veteran, and a preacher living peacefully in the community was assaulted, not based on anything that he had actually done, by somebody he confused with a maintenance worker. Yeah, so tell us again why we are so deserving of this treatment and these narratives under which we suffer. That's interesting. You would certainly have to throw this one away alongside the Chud the Builders of the world, but you won't. In fact, I'd be surprised if he didn't raise money. Oh yeah, and Florida, it just always gets worse, don't it? Florida authorities are investigating vandalism at a historic, predominantly black cemetery where headstones were knocked down and Trump and DeSantis were spray painted in red letters on tombs.
I mean, extreme anger. That's my family and so many other families, individuals that I'm familiar with that are here, are buried here. When you look and you see spray painted on a vault, DeSantis and Trump, it makes you wonder, is it politically motivated? And I tend to believe that it is, but I can't prove that.
It looked like someone moved it because it was straight the last time I saw it. I just thought it was evil. It was evil, and it's not right.
Oh no, evil is exactly right. We can't even die in peace, but America is not a racist country. And unfortunately, we can't even agree on that amongst ourselves as black folk. Your next governor, Byron Donalds, would look at that and be mad his name wasn't scrawled on there.
During Jim Crow, the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively.
That's funny. We haven't heard anything from Byron Donalds since all this redistricting. That's interesting. Not a single thing. He must still be fumbling for the mouthpiece at the way that this has inflamed the Democratic voter base. Yeah, I've talked quite a bit about the incoming backlash and the way that you guys have tried to game a system that was already gamed in your favor. I mean, if there's one thing that would be a theme of Trump 47 is backlash, or as we call it, Pavo.
Well, well, well. White Alabamians in rural America. Come here. Your hate and your racism? Well, it's about to cost you, dear. That's right. They were promised new septic tanks, but the pedo-in-chief called it illegal DEI. The Justice Department ended a deal that helped fund a solution to the sewage crisis in rural Alabama.
They need to get Nick Saban back. They need to get Nick Saban. It's going to be sewage. It's going to be. It was sewage before Nick Saban.
Because the pedo-in-chief says it's DEI. Yeah. Fixing the sewage problem in your rural community can't be done today because, well, there's a few black people that live there. So you will have to have sewage running through your home and your streets too, because, you know, there's some black people who live next to you. Racism, dear. While you try to oppress others, just know what you're really doing is making your own personal life be filled with all sorts of strife.
It was right there. It was right. Making your own personal life.
Yeah. Enjoy the smell of shit as it rolls down your streets.
One more time.
Enjoy the smell of shit as it rolls down your streets.
That's why they say roll tide. I'm pretty sure that's why they say roll tide. They're going to have some new colorway uniforms this year. Yeah, you're not going to know whether they game one or not. Oh, Alabama. If that isn't how Pick Me ends. Normally, it's not that actually smelly. Normally, it's like, hypothetically, it stinks, but it literally stinks for y'all. Yeah. Thinking the billionaires were going to look out for you. Alabama. And I wonder what those black residents did to warrant the kind of disdain that had you fumble your own septic tanks. Probably about what the doctor in Florida did, or any of the people in the background of the Chud the Builder videos. It's not about what you do or who you are. These are the kind of people that would post up Pete Hegseth as an example of family values. That's right, 7 kids from 3 different women, all of whom he cheated on. Family values. The kind of people that lift up Trump as the carrier of the Christian faith. Calling a black POTUS married 25 years to one wife with 2 children, no mistresses, affairs, or scandals, the Antichrist, but a white POTUS married thrice, 5 kids by 3 women, mistresses, affairs, and scandals, God's anointed, proves your religion is white supremacy. And by the way, affairs and scandals is doing a whole lot of heavy lifting, isn't it? I'm surprised they didn't bust with all the things you got to pack into affairs and scandals. Yeah, that religion has a number of converts, and it's got a bullhorn. Ain't that right, Elon Musk? If you take Elon Musk's personal section in his Wikipedia and you put it under a brother named Lonnie Morgan, he would be calling Lonnie Morgan everything that's wrong with America. How many baby mamas? Lonnie Morgan would be getting dragged all over Twitter, but not Elon Musk. In fact, you remember that video from the White House Mother's Day event where they talked about American women being underbabied?
That 1 in 3 Americans are underbabied. What does underbabied mean? That means that you either don't have any children or you have less children than you would normally want to have.
Underbabied. Yeah, after decades of demonizing the black and brown single mother, why y'all having so many babies? This, that, and the other thing. Forced sterilizations and the like. Now we're underbabied. But not us, y'all. Meanwhile, with all these issues afflicting America, how does Elon Musk spend his time? Tweeting about Chris Nolan. This is literally because he put a black woman in a movie. Imagine being rich enough to end world hunger, but what really bothers you is black actors being casted in movies based on fiction and mythology. Oh yeah, unlike Trump, Elon Musk can actually quote scripture from the Bible of white supremacy.
What do you mean by that?
Now, let's actually stay right here because there's a perfect example of it's not about what you do. Right here with this issue, the whole right-wing MAGA crash out at Chris Nolan casting a black woman. Kevin Sorbo, this you? After Elon Musk goes in with Chris Nolan desecrated the Odyssey so he'd be eligible for an Academy Award, we get from Kevin Sorbo, the DEI is one thing, Nolan is desecrating Greece, the country, as well. This is the beach in Greece versus the movie. Who want to tell him? A whole community note, in the Odyssey, Athena deliberately shrouds Ithaca in mist so Odysseus doesn't recognize it. No, not that. The other thing. Washed up non-Greek actor who played a Greek character despite having the Roman naming of Heracles is struggling to stay relevant. So let me get this straight. You, a non-Greek, played Hercules, again, the Roman spelling of Hercules, Norwegian, am I right? But now you have a problem with a black woman being involved. That's so MAGA. From In Wokeness, oh yeah, we're bringing up the jewels of Twitter now, aren't we? Why doesn't actors' race matter? Okay, now imagine it was this. To which Elon Musk says, a glaringly obvious double standard. Well, let's see. We got Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, 12 Years a Slave, Obama again, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali. I'm sensing a theme. You got something there. Conservatives watched white actors play Egyptians, Asians, Persians, and Native Americans for 70 years and suddenly became the casting police in 2026. MAGAs always use civil rights icons in these arguments because deep down they know comparing fantasy characters to real black historical figures is dishonest. That's it. That's it. The dishonesty. Oh, and you forgot one. John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Y'all really let that fly? I can't believe the Asian delegation ever has forgiven that. MAGA calls everything woke the second they see a black person on screen. Greek mythology literally has gods turning into animals and impregnating people, but diversity is where the realism suddenly matters. And yes, we're back to that point again. It's not about what you do. It's not about who you are. Just like Trump's desperate appeals to his MAGA base with racist True Social posts that have become so regular, you probably weren't even aware of them. Let's see, we got the video where he shows an overweight man tipping a tray out of a server's hand on the way out of the restaurant. We got another video showing a restaurant worker confronting a black DoorDash driver who picked up food for an order, then apparently canceled it once she got outside the eatery, with the caption, "Always scheming."
Can I help you? Ma'am, why did you just cancel that order? What are you talking about? Oh my God. This is straight fucking recording. Oh my God. Girl, yes. I am recording you because for one, you just got through taking the order and you sit up there and you in here eating up people's food.
We get a third video showing black kids stealing snacks from a Wawa convenience store. Well, that's right. If he can't give them septic tanks, if he can't give them lower gas prices, if he can't give them lower food prices, if he can't give them an end to the war in Iran, well, he could certainly give them racism. Now, can he?
I hate it here.
And the fact that there are recipients for that deal can explain every single racist incident I've discussed so far.
Black people have been asking the same question for centuries. What did we do to y'all? Like, seriously, what the fuck did we actually do? Because at some point you have to stop believing that this is random. You stop believing that this is just ignorance. Because how are black people simultaneously copied, feared, mocked, criminalized, fetishized, segregated, underpaid, over-policed, erased, and exploited on basically every continent on Earth? At some point, you have to realize, oh, this is not about behavior. This is not about morality. It's not even about individual black folks. This is what blackness was made to represent in the modern world. And that answer is ugly, because the truth is, black people became the foundation the modern world built hierarchy on. That's the answer. Not because black people did something uniquely wrong, not because we're uniquely violent, not because we're uniquely criminal, but because Europe and then the United States needed a permanent bottom caste to justify slavery, colonialism, empire, and capitalism. You can't build an empire on stolen labor without creating a group you can convince the world deserves exploitation. That is what we became. That is what black people became. The justification, the bottom rung. And once the world built itself around blackness meaning less than, every other group learned to define themselves in opposition to that, right? That is why anti-blackness survives, even in places with barely any black people.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and to those that have reached out to me at admin@reesewaters.com, especially those that have volunteered for our research squad. Did you know we got a research squad? Shout out to Carrie, Andy, Jay, Sharon, Benjamin, and Jeremy. Y'all been absolutely killing it. If you wonder how we're able to churn out so much content, they are a big reason why. If you ever know that you're my hero, you're everything I wish I could be. And we got more on the way. I believe Jesse, Ben, Angelica, and Lars have reached out as well. If you would like to join our research squad, hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. Now to the picks. Reese, I look forward to your videos daily. They bring me a sense of peace for sure. Laughing truly takes my mind off all the madness out there. Thank you, and continue doing great works. From Sandra. Sandra, thank you so much for that. I love the way that green looks on you. And you know what really takes my mind off of the madness and brings me peace is connecting with our community. And I couldn't do that if you guys didn't reach out to me as I reach out to you. So thank you so much for that. Hey there, you. I've been following you faithfully since I discovered your podcast last year. You're very necessary to us that are blessed to experience all of the content that you and your crew seemingly tirelessly produce. I also have been supportive of your merch and proudly wear something nearly daily as I purchase something from each collection. Hey, she got more than me. I don't even have something from every collection. I mean, I'm working on it. Keep on keeping on. We will be here with you, Khadijah, Charlie, and Nikki. I absolutely love the support almost as much as I love those smiles. And you know what we probably need is just a best of. Like just do one of them like 70s pics where they be laid out on a bearskin rug, but just with all the merch. I would love something like that. Like a best of Khadijah, Charlie, and Nikki pic. That's what we need. And while we're on the topic of best of, I had talked previously about the Who Raised Y'all face. Well, we have a new entry from Miss Angie. Now that is nice. Now that is solid work. We're almost at the point of a best of Who Raised Y'all face, and feel free to hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com if you would like to enter. That's gonna have to wait until our next entry of best of. I got Ken in North Carolina. Shout out to Rocky Mount. I got Ken that were facing the prospect of looking up at Mini Soldier in schools and in state office buildings. Huh? Or Mini Soldier. That's kind of like an alter ego kind of deal.
He was once a 5 nights a week attendee at multiple porn shops where he often brought a pizza in a private booth with him.
That's the side we went on. The other side of that newsstand.
Pizza? It was pizza, wasn't it?
And when I say it got dark, it got real dark.
How dark, Mark Robinson? How dark? Nude Africa dark? Now, I don't know what she meant by y'all like to watch and whatnot, because I don't consume that kind of content. I keep it buttoned up and, Wrong. Yeah, I watched. But I don't promote it though. I watch it. So I watch it as a release. You know, I watch it as a release, but I don't promote it though. You know, I keep it buttoned up when I come over here. You know what I mean? So the separation of church and state, separation of ratchetry and my content. Okay, that's one thing I like to do. I gotta have references to go somewhere with it. Hey, to the rest of the world, we are the world. We are the children. I love y'all. Why y'all looking at me like Michael Jackson and We Are the World?
There seems no hope at all.
If you just believe, it's nowhere we can fall. You can't even get 100% of the people to agree that Casey Haley ate up Bobby Womack on If You Think You Lonely Now.